Good afternoon, traders. This is AJ of Awesomecalls Trading, as you can see. This is our daily review and recap dated January 31st, 2019, and we ended at the end of the day. Amazing. But before we go into that, I just want to kind of go over some overnights that we did. Actually, not even overnights. A couple, three trade ideas that I want to share with you that we did in this great room. Lately when earnings season comes, I love to, I don't know what's the word. Uh, I like to I like to blow people's minds away when they watch me trade earnings. And back in Christmas, I offered everyone outside the room, inside the room, if you subscribe for a year, I would buy a scan for you. And in our scan that we use, there is a special section that literally, if you really read it, and you're a really good trader, and heaven forbid if you're a pro like myself, you can actually predict and take a stock into earnings. But you've got to be smart. You don't do size, but you listen. And a lot of you are going to sit here and listen to this webinar and think there's no way you called Facebook last night into earnings. Not only did I call Facebook into earnings last night before the bell, I actually took a position into Facebook into earnings. And I also took all three that I made a decision were all going to pop positive on earnings. I took three positions on each of them, one position on each. I shared it with the room. I gave the entries and what I was looking for and why. And I want you to know, I want you to see the three trades. Okay. So the first one was Facebook. Last night in Facebook, I made the decision at $150.56 right here that I was going to go long into earnings. There's my entry right there, 150.55. And I explained in detail why. And so you saw some traders like B Trades who actually took calls. You saw a few other people in the room, and they did tweet it. But this is kind of like where I really shine as a educator, a mentor, whatever you want to call me. This is what separates a real pro from the rest of the rooms. And it's one thing to say, okay, and you get a lot of this out there. Let's be honest. You get a lot of people, oh, yeah, I think Facebook's going to do good. I think Facebook's worth watching after hours. Yeah, I think it could pop. And then when it does, oh, I called it. Okay, that's not a call. Okay, that's not a call. Right? That's nothing. That's completely irrelevant. It does nothing for you. It's somebody trying to toot their own horn that really has no fact. When somebody says, I like Facebook into earnings, therefore I'm going to take a position and this is my entry. And then they show it, okay, that's a little bit different. That's a pro standing by what he says. So last night, there was some indicators that told me that Facebook was going to probably do very well. So the risk was 10 to the downside, 15 to the up. And that was the risk reward. So whatever you put in, you were going to either lose 10 points or you're going to make 15 points. It was one side or the other. And that's how I determined the trade. So Facebook, as you know, was already beaten up as it was. Well, today, after hours, the stock shot up all the way up to $165. Again, what did I say? Even when I was taking the trade, 15 to the up or 10 to the down. And like clockwork, the stock went 15 points, just like that. Okay. So Facebook was one of them. All right. It was a great call. And I think this morning I said short the stock down to, I think, 165 or something like that, and then go long on my notes. The other one was MLNX. Now, MLNX had a couple good things going for it. Here, Intel supposedly made a $6 billion offer, or they put money into the company. And I was watching how it traded all day yesterday. And you all know I called the stock to 84 and then go long. And I noticed they kept it tight all day with volume. And then I looked at the call to put option ratio into earnings, and I made a decision that I believe MLX would probably pop after hours and do well into earnings. And it was the way it was trading all day that showed me that. If somebody was going to do pour into earnings after a big pop up of 10 points to 12 points, then at the very least I felt the stock would come down and gap fill, but it didn't. It stayed up. So this even gave me more convincing that the stock was going to most likely pop and then fade down. I'm sorry, pop and just kind of stay up on earnings. And so I was really interested in going long. So I went ahead and went long, $87 and I believe 30 cents, 40 cents into earnings, and I sold, and I got 4.5 points, 4 points yesterday. I sold at 91.50. I went long 87.50 and sold at 91.50, 4 points. Stock ended up going a couple more dollars, but I was very pleased with that one. Again, I explained in detail, and tonight I'm going to go over for all the people in the room what I want to do again. What do I see into earnings? And then for those that think, well, I can't make money trading those because my account's not too bad. Well, I gave also another trade called Flex. I was reading the reports, and Flex had everything going for it that this stock was going to go launch right out of the gate and after on earnings. And so I went long at $9.19. And shortly after, a few people started taking trades. Celeste, you saw yesterday on my Twitter feed, I believe it was Tommy. He went long at 2 cents higher, and he ended up making almost $500 on the trade. And obviously, the stock sold off on profit taking. But these were the three that I made decisions, and I took all three positions, and all three were awesome. And, I don't know of any trader in the world, seriously, any trader that owns a chat room, that runs a room, that could do what we did yesterday just after hours, just 10 minutes before the bell rang. I really don't. It takes a lot of guts, a lot of professionalism, a lot of history of trading, understanding. And let me tell you something. 3 years when I opened the room, I probably would have never done that. But I have evolved as a trader in this room, and I've gotten better and more confident with my calls. And I see things so much differently, more clearly. Trading stocks, it's not going to be you're not going to be good overnight, and you need to get that. That's the first thing you need to understand. You're not going to be rich overnight. You're not. If anything, you're going to be broke overnight, especially if you're a new person just trying to get in there and trying to race. And in this room, we don't run ever in our trading. Everything is disciplined, sizing, getting in, being patient. All right. The thing I work on in Awesome Calls Trading is fear. There's so much fear in trading, the fear that you're going to be wrong all the time when you pull the trigger. The fear. And one of the things I expressed yesterday is in my rant, it's okay to be wrong. It's okay to be wrong. Even as a teacher, a moderator, you're not going to be perfect. But if you're going to be wrong, own it. And not just own it as an individual, but own it in a sense that you're going to learn from it. All right? And that's what I do. I try to teach when I make a mistake. And I put out a comment today on Twitter about, you're going to become even bigger the minute you make a mistake because no one is 100% perfect. And I think I really stand true to that. So anyway, we took these three trades and they all worked out and everyone was happy. And tonight, I'm really excited. I haven't even looked at the earnings report yet, but I'm going to take about 2 or 3 positions. And I'm excited to share with everyone in the room what I'm going to do. Okay? So those were those. And then today, we started with a stock called AMD. Now, AMD is an extremely, everyone wants to short this stock. I can't tell you. From pre-market to, everyone wants to just gut this thing because you can make a lot of money. The problem is you need to know when to short the stock. not just because you think it should go down. Okay, we don't trade like that. It should go down. If I ever said that to a trader, I'm taking this short because it should go down, I should be terminated. Okay, seriously, just fire me on the spot. I'm not worth your $6.75. So when I looked at AMD this morning, all I said was go long. Don't short the stock. Now I did short a little in pre-market because it was gapping up. So I made, I don't know, everybody knows I made about 10 cents. And so what I was looking for was a nice pop out of the gate. And I wanted $24 and I wanted 23.75. And I'll show you my notes right here on AMD. AMD gapping up 20 cents this morning. I'm hoping for a small pop at the open. Believe it, a small pop. The stock was sitting at what? At just $23. So I figured if I can get 23.75 or more, then I can short it, take it back down to 22. But once AMD hit 23.75, I just said there's no short. Now you only have to wait for 25. 25 will be the key. And then 25, I think I said 25.50 should top it off and then should come down from there. So, but the main focus was don't short the open. Look for the pop and squeeze. This is what this stock has taught me in history and how I've traded for, 15 years. And what that did is it prevented people from really getting hurt. As you can see, the stock shot up. Remember I said 23.75? The first stop was 23.75. See that? 23.75 right there. And then when it came down a little bit, they were like, should we short, boss? And I said, no, I think one more run. And sure enough, it went to 24 and then 24.40. But I was pretty damn close. Now, if it would have fell off a cliff there, I would have been a superhero. But today, I'm just a regular hero on that trade. But I saw it coming, and that's really all that mattered. Okay, so AMD was a really good play out of the gate. The next call that I did that I thought was really, really cool was now. Now now was just, listen, all right, this is for you chat room owners that are in here. I'm going to teach you something because pretty much most of you are children and been trading less than 5 years and you think you know it all. But let me tell you, I'm going to teach you something. When you have a high short interest stock and you got a stock that's up 14, 15 points, all right? And if you look at the stock for just take the last 20 days, you see how many shorts are in here? Literally. If there were buyers in here, seriously, the stock probably would have went up even higher. But there were a lot of shorts in here, building positions. And, from the 170 on. And then all of a sudden earnings come out. And you know what was really interesting on this one? Was the volatility showed based on the put and call ratio that now was going to miss, believe it or not, the way I read it yesterday. And, or it was like 50-50. And I'd rather trade, when I see a 50-50 call and put ratio, I tend to want to just back off on it and just trade it out when the earnings actually report. Well, now came out with stellar earnings this morning and just blew it out. So all I could say was go long and look for a nice, I believe what I was looking for on it was now was a 215 plus, then to scale in the short. Now, I traded this thing 4 times, every entry and exit, but I traded with decent size. I didn't get, so I wouldn't get shaken out. I was very calm. There's one thing you could say about me when the room was watching me trade this on the short side, and I was short bias. I should have, obviously, in hindsight, I wish I could have just went long out of the gate, and I would only have to do one trade. But I kind of like trying to find that top sometimes. It's not so much about the money. I do want to make money, but it's the challenge of really understanding the stock. A stock like this makes me better as a trader and understanding it more. And I did make it very clear that it was an earning beast, and it was already up 16. So even up 16, I had this going for another 5 or 6 more points or more out of the gate. And then I thought we could probably get a 5 to 7 point pull on it if it does. If not, we'll let it rip. Well, let me tell you something. This thing was just off the hook. I mean, this thing just From the moment the bell rang at the 210 level, it was gone. I was in pre-market telling just go long, 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 just go long. And literally, as I'm doing my notes, it already hit 215 before the bell even rang. And so just in pre-market, you could have made 5 points on that trade. And it ended up going all the way to 228. I was my big short, and you can check with the chat room, I was all over 230. I actually had limit orders ready to go. And this one I was going to size. I felt 230 would probably be the peak, and I kind of missed it. So I did take a short here on its way down. And then I tried to help a few traders in the room to nail it here because I saw it breaking down off this flag on a bearish and just came down for 3 points. That was a great trade. So anyway, really, really great trade on now. The next stock that I liked was I like Tesla. Let me tell you something. Let me try to explain to you something on Tesla. It doesn't really matter what you think. Okay, it really doesn't. Your opinions don't matter on the short side. I was watching a short seller this morning, I think on CNBC, saying we have a sell range of 220 and giving every inkling why the stock should collapse. And I listened to that and I actually just kind of laugh. I laugh like you just don't get it. Your 220 is never going to happen. The only way we're ever going to see 220, I think, is if they go bankrupt. I mean, that's the only way you're going to see under 200. If he misses on his building, CFO leaves, this person leaves, the head of engineering leaves. It doesn't matter. This is an iconic owner that doesn't do things within the box. He does his own thing. This is his company, his baby. All right. He knows what to say. He's learned not to get piss off the analyst, because you piss him off, you're gonna get whacked. This guy knows what to say. And all I could tell everyone was go long. Any pull at the open, go long. I mean, come on, don't argue. Stock's gonna probably a gap fill. Just go long. Stop thinking you're smarter than the stock. And yet, there's people all over the place doing podcasts, doing this, giving their opinion. Stock's going to collapse the next day. You know what? You should all just shut the fuck up. Seriously. Just go in a corner and stop trying to pretend you understand this stock, because you clearly don't when you open your mouth. And for me, this was a long and nothing more. And I actually made a comment on Tesla. I like a small pop at the open, sell off maybe to 295 if it does. This is the one you have to watch carefully. In my opinion, is simply gap fills. I mean, I can't get any more clear on a trade. This should be gap fill. And if anybody has any doubt, you know, why do you think it'll gap fill and why do you think 295 is the bottom? Because that's what I feel the stock, that's the bottom of the stock. Now, do you really want to see, how good we are? I just want you to look for a moment, because nobody's got the balls out here to even put this in writing. I want you to see what I said. Go long 295. It will simply gap fill. Remember what I wrote. Remember that. Now I want you to watch magic. Okay? Do you see where the stock hit? Right? First I said in pre-market it's going to pop, right? To 303, 304. Then it's going to pull to 295. There's 295. Then I said what? What did I say? I said it was going to gap fill. And if you look on one day here, see the gap fill? There it is. You see it? Pop at the open. Read the notes. You see how I'm giving you instructions how to make money. You're going to pop through 302. Then you're going to pull to 295. And then you're going to take it at 295. And then you're going to go and gap fill. Who can write that down? You can't hate what you don't understand. Remember that. Don't hate what you don't understand. Just look at it and don't even say anything. I'd rather you just say nothing, because there's really nothing to say. Just trade it. Pop at the open, 302, 295 long, grab fill. Okay? So that analyst on CNBC, everything he said was worthless this morning. Let's do another trade. I'm going to give you small cappers, a couple, for BO. All right. I want you to look at this for BO. This is going to close at 180 and under by the end of the day. This is your typical, remember I tell you every day I'm going to find you just bullshit. This is what you call bullshit. Why is it bullshit? Well, let's look at the together. Look at the PR. So we got to determine first. We got to find out why it's up. Then we got to determine if it's bullshit. If it's bullshit, we just short the stock. Okay? So you look today, and here it is. What's the first thing that's wrong with this? What is the very, very first thing that is wrong with this? What's the very first thing you see? You talk too much. When you talk too much, you're talking bullshit. All right? There's one word in here that tells me to short the stock. There's only one word. The chat room knows what it is, but you chat room owners that are in here, it's none of your fucking business. Okay? There's one word in here. Just one word. And anybody in the room want to challenge it? You know, Mr. Purdue, that's wrong. That's not the word. Anybody else? Mods want to crack at it? I think you all know the word. Just type it in. But there's one word that said short the stock. All right? One word. Celeste, Tommy, no. Andor, you got it. Andor's pretty close. Let me see. I'm getting Palmer's got pretty close, yeah. Pretty close. So you don't actually see it in the headline. You see it in the PR. So let me maybe help you with that. What do you see in the PR? No, Mr. Right? No, 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 no. It's in the PR. There you go, Mr. Hawks. There you go. I'm not going to share it with I'm going to share it with the room because they know what it is. But that's the word. Well, it's spelled a little bit different. Yeah, exactly, V. See? It's in the PR. Bottom line is it was a short. And that is the key word we look for. All right? So what does that mean for you as a trader? It means that you go in short more it pops, scale in short, take 1,000 shares, go down to $1.80. And that's the trade. You see this 80 button here? That's where I want it to go. Now, the stock's not going to do it right away. And the reason is because the market makers want to try to build as much volume as they can through the day so Fabio can do an offering. And that's the whole purpose of that. But at the end of the day, you're going to see 180 and under. So I have short sellers in here that's all they wait for. They size in, any pop they add into it, and they just take it down because of the word. And there's another one I like to do for small accounts. It's an offering. See, we trade everything in here. There's no limits in here. Now this one, okay. This one was really unique. This one tested my skill. And I shared this with the great Palmer this morning. He might even do a video on it. I don't know. But I really wanted him to understand my thought process on this one. But anyway, they announced an offering. Okay? They announced an offering this morning. They priced it at $18.26. Okay? The stock actually gapped up. So you know what I said? Do you want to know what I said? How do you think in pre-market you're going to play that? Just seeing this gapping up. You see, this is all I see. Do you know what I called? Are you ready? Because you can't handle me. You chat rooms cannot handle me. Outside this room, you can't handle it unless you're in here trading it. Then you'll get it. You know what I put? I'll tell you what I put. Long at 1680. That's all you need to know. And I promise you, I promise you, not only am I going to give you your entry, I'm going to give you 1 point on the trade. Just do what I tell you. Do what I tell you. Long at 1680. You want to see the trade? See it? 1680. Boom. And you know where it's going to close? $18 a share. 1780 to 18. Below the offering. Wow. And you're wondering what to trade in your room today? How about fire that mod? Let me see. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 is Facebook. So let me do one more trade. What can I do? What can I do? What can I do? You know what I'm going to do? You know what I'm going to do for you? I have 2 on my list. How about this one? You never heard this one before. And you want to know the truth? You want to know the truth? I've been trading 15 years. I've had this room for 5. Right? I've never traded a stock in my life. Never. Never in my life. But all I could see from pre-market, where it was, I saw little dots here. And you know what I said? Stock is here at 55. I'm going to go long at the open. I'm going to go to 57 a share. And I'm going to short it. Probably get about 3 or 4 points. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. That's the call. Do you want to see a professional at work now? You ready? So, of course, I have to put it in writing because that's what I do. So everyone has the opportunity. And here's the call. Gapping down 5. I want to pop it open to 57. And then I want to shred it to 52. So if you're a trader in here, you're gonna wait. Either you're gonna go long and pop it to 57 and go back to bed in 30 seconds, or you can take 57 short and take it down 3 to 4 points and go back to bed. Either way, I'm going to deliver you a 2 to 3 point trade in 30 seconds. It's your decision how you want to do it. It's your call. Are you ready? Ding, 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 ding. I told you to go long. And guess where it touched? And guess where it stopped? 57. And guess where it came down? 54. I know you're shaking your head right now because that's 90% of you. And you mods that own other rooms are just going, I really need to copy your calls from my room because I'm just losing people. You know, sorry, just shit happens. So that was a good one. I give 12 of these a day, sometimes 13. Can we do one more? I just kind of want to pat myself on the back on this one. Let me see if I read it right. Yeah, Netflix. You see, Netflix was gapping down. See this? It's gapping down 2. And I'm like looking at it going, and you all know I love Netflix. Come on. I'm the king of Netflix in here. I mean, I even subscribe to it, you know? So I got this stock down to a T. So to the point where I told everyone, go long. Just pop it open to 342 or more and then short it. That's it. So without really spending too much time on it, I could just see it setting up this morning for an explosion. And I want you to see how that worked out. Here's the open. I said go long. 50 shares, 100. Bam. 8 points. Literally, there's the 342 I spoke of right at the open. See how I called it? 342. So either way, you're going to make 4 points right at the open and go back to bed. Whether this stock gaps up or the stock gaps down, doesn't really matter to me. Just show me the chart and I'll tell you where it's going. And that's what I did. So let's recap. We're going to do a chart tonight on Facebook. We're going to do a chart on AMD, Now, Tesla, Fabio, Kansas, and DWDP. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yes. On the Facebook one, we definitely want to advertise that we called that, and then hopefully our moderator in here will put a bunch of link showing how we called that. And just as I'm talking to you, see Kensa, see where it's going. If you had bought where I told you, went back to work, came back 5 hours later, you have a point in your bank. You took 250 shares, you made $250 on a trade you didn't even have to watch. It was automatic. All you had to do was buy it and sit on it. And tomorrow it'll be about 18. Might even be 19 tomorrow. Anyway, this is what we do. Welcome to Awesome Calls Trading. Tomorrow I'm going to do it again. All this for $6.75 a day. So if you want to join us for a monthly, great. If not, just try us out for a day. Try us out for a week. And one last thing. This room is just, it's a phenomenal room. And we have just, I have to emphasize that we have an amazing team. From Jenny Moore to Raphael, who I'm honored that comes in almost every day to this room. The Great Dark Side. Fire, who's coming back on Monday. B Trades, phenomenal day trader. Dave the Trader, Bank the Trade, and some dude named H. I don't know, fuck that dude is. I don't even know why he's on the list. He should be quiet. So, room isn't about one person. It's about everybody. And of course, the community of traders that come in here. Gun Show's still here. I love it. You're still a member, Gun Show. It's been a while. Welcome back, boss. So I love it. Thank you. Thank you. And we're going to announce something on Super Bowl Sunday after the game. Gun Show's been here a year and a half. Thank you, sir. It's an honor. Something for the chat room members that deserve it. They've been here a long time. We're going to do something very special for them. And hopefully for you too. So anyway, thank you again for being a part of this great webinar. Here's my YouTube channel, and you'll feel free to watch any of these videos, and get a lot of views on them. I think we had 157 on Monday. Last night we had so far 60 on it. So it's all yours. You can listen to all of them. I got a huge channel, and just on and on and on. That's what they do. They're all trade reviews, all live. Okay, so thank you for joining us, and I will see you tomorrow. And I hope to see a few new people. All right, take care, be well, trade well, and be smart. Take care. Bye-bye.